What up, what up, what up? Danny here. Welcome to today's video. We're talking about how much money do you need to travel the world.
This is our story. We can take back someday. Oh, if only we can take back someday.
So probably like in the last 6 months, this has been the main question. How much money do you need and how expensive is it to travel the world? And today I decided to, tackle this topic. I just got on Instagram, another dude was asking, yo, how do you do what you do? So for everyone who is new, the past 10 months, my girlfriend and I, we have been traveling through 16 different countries, Southeast Asia, United States, Europe, give you an idea of how much money you're gonna need. But for right now, I'm in the car. As you can see, I'm on my way to pick up a bike. Main thing is, I don't want to use the car all the time because I want to have that money for traveling and for other things.
Oh, I got the money in my pocket, but I'm happy, so fuck it. Yo, I'm feeling so fine, I'll be drinking my wine.
Alright peeps, so doing a little stopover, just picked up the bike, and I would say we're gonna divide the video kind of in 3 parts. In number 1, I'm gonna tell you my story, where we have gone to. Number 2 is gonna be like, we're gonna be focusing on lifestyle. Depending on what lifestyle you want to live, obviously the price, like, you know, the amount of money you're gonna need might vary like tremendously. And the third thing is just, I'm gonna give you exact numbers for a month and for the whole year. This is what I did, 10 months in a row, non-stop traveling. So alrighty, so we're here in the Got a World to See office. I would say the main thing when traveling the world is you have 2 main expenses: accommodation and flights. And when it comes to flights, I've made a separate video on my strategy behind it, how to get the cheapest deal. So extra for this video, a lot of people have been asking me. I wrote down all the prices for all the flights we took during the past 10 months. It has been 22 flights, actually probably less than people think, because we have also been in a lot of bus riding, a lot of car sharing, which always have been pretty affordable. And the total flight cost has been, drum roll, 1,662 euro. So like $1,800–900, which is absolutely crazy. This is for around the world: Europe, United States, Southeast Asia, China, Australia. This is kind of like all the places that we have been to. And the crazy thing is, some people pay kind of like for a round trip, just kind of like on the other side of the world to an exotic country for like a 2, 3, 4 week vacation. And there are definitely secrets behind it. If you want to know my strategy behind booking flights, in the year, like you have 3 or 4 dates where they have like super cheap flights. You have to be available on that date. And obviously if you're planning on traveling for a long time, you will be very flexible, so the time will be on your side. It's not as expensive as you think, and this is also the main message of this video. But if you're thinking like, how much money do you need, you're obviously probably more of a budget traveler, or you're interested in it. So if you're actually planning to do it, you have to ask yourself, you know, what type of a traveler are you? Are you ready to flip every coin, eat crap, do whatever it takes, stay only at hostels? Or are you more like of a classy traveler? You know, do you want to stay at nice places? Do you want to eat out at nice restaurants? Obviously, we're all kind of like somewhere in the middle. I would say I was definitely more on the budget side. So let's talk about accommodation. In some places, let's say you're traveling through Europe. If you're gonna stay in Paris or somewhere like that, you're gonna be paying at least 100 euro or above. But if you're gonna be in Eastern Europe, like we have been in Ukraine or in Poland, really amazing places. We're gonna be back there actually soon. There you can live a month for, if you're living not super cheap, but let's say modest, like $500 to $700–800 is possible. It's possible. If you want to have like a cool lifestyle. United States, everybody is saying like, yo, Los Angeles, New York City, that's gonna be super expensive. And I agree in a lot of ways, especially accommodation, but we made it happen. There's always a way to make it happen. It's not expensive as you think. Let me tell you my kind of like experiences. So for example, in Los Angeles, if you want to stay in some of the main areas like Santa Monica, you're gonna have to pay at least $100 to be anywhere close to that. But if you're gonna go outside of the main areas, like we have been staying, for example, in Torrance, we have been staying in, we rented out a car, and at the end we still ended up paying less than for those super central Airbnbs, and it was, I would say, the cheapest was like $35. The more expensive ones were like $50 for 2 people. You divide that, calculate it, scale it up on a month, and you're gonna be looking at like average price was like around $40 to $50. So per person, $400 to $500 for accommodation in cities, in areas. Let's say in areas like Los Angeles and New York City. It's possible. It can be done. We did it. For example, in New York City, we have been staying in Jersey. It's not Manhattan, but it's a bus ride away. And in this situation, it still was an amazing time. So I would say overall, our United States months costed us maybe a little bit over $1,000. From there, we were flying through Europe. It ended up to be the cheapest flight, so we stopped by in London, and from there we went to Singapore, Southeast Asia. But then we have been spending a lot of time in Thailand, a lot of time in the Philippines, and there really, if you are not gonna be in the main tourist spots, if you're not gonna be in the main season there where all the tourists are there, for example in Thailand, we have been staying at really cool accommodations for like around €10, like $12. I would say the average price for us for like private rooms, sometimes even little houses, I would say between $10 and $20, $15 would be kind of like the average price. Put that up onto a month, you're going to be looking at $450 for 2 people. You know, food, $100, maybe $200 if you want to eat a lot of street food, go out sometimes. And the rest of your activities, maybe once in a while take a bus to go to a different place. Personally, Judy and I, we haven't been doing like tours all the time, because for us, like the most exciting thing is just to see the vibe of a place, to live, to see how your life could be in that one specific place, and to just get ideas from like the environment around you. And that's why we weren't super eager to see all the main things and all the main attractions. And basically the main point that I'm coming down to right now is very important. Where do you want to go? What part of the world? Because obviously places like the United States or Europe is going to be a lot more expensive than Eastern Europe or Asia, India, Southeast Asia. Even China ended up to be pretty affordable in terms of food and accommodation for us. And the conclusion here mainly is, I would say, in Southeast Asia, they have been really months. We have been once for 2 weeks renting out this place for €10 in Koh Lanta. So €5 a night for a person. An amazing time enjoying the nature for around $500 a month, which is a lot cheaper than living in Germany. A lot of people are actually saving money when they're traveling through Southeast Asia or Eastern Europe. A lot of people think it's only Southeast Asia, and still, with the expensive countries, this is what I say. A lot of people, they're not really willing to cut down on their standards when they're going to very expensive places. They're always kind of like staying in a similar type of accommodation. But for us, for Judy and I, for example, in some places, we have been raising our standards when it has been pretty cheap. We have been going out to eat more often, like for example, in Eastern Europe. But in the United States, we haven't been really eating out at all. We have been, grocery shopping. And with that, I would say the conclusion would be it is possible in many countries to travel for around $500 to $700 without like being super hardly on a budget, without like flipping every penny. If you want to like really have a good time, I would say $800. In those expensive countries, you have to really budget, but it's possible to go somewhere around $1,000. So for 10 months, I would say if you want to just chill, if you don't want to worry about money all the time, but still you have to be smart about it, $10,000 would be like a good rough number. Around $1,000 for every month. At some destinations it's going to be more, at others it's going to be less. But it is definitely possible, especially if you're not going to travel to expensive countries, to do it around $500 to $800 a month. So now you have to put the flights on top of it, obviously. And as I've shown you, it is possible, $2,000 for all of these flights. So if you're really gonna budget and you're not gonna spend a lot of time in the super expensive destinations, it is possible to do all of that: flight, accommodation, food, everything, travel the world for $800 $9,000. If you really budget, this is what we kind of did. And in the end, obviously, my situation changed a little bit with all the YouTube growth. There have been some places where we have been staying for free. We have had some collaborations, some money started to come in. Luckily, we actually spent even less. We have been staying also with family with Judy's family in Australia, so very thankful for that. That has been also a huge factor, which obviously allowed us to spend so much time in Australia, which is pretty pricey but an amazing place. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope I was able to answer the question, to give you some perspective and show that there is a way if there is a will. If you really want to make it happen, it is possible. And for me, 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, I said to myself, this is what I want to do. I have this idea, I have this vision in a way that I want to see even more, and I want to capture it on camera. I want to share this story, and so far the whole YouTube game took me to pretty cool places. Right now a few projects are developing, so if you enjoyed this video and you're new here on the channel, you haven't subscribed yet, it's your time to do it. And the rest, you know how it goes. Leave up a thumbs up, help the channel to grow. If you don't know how it works by this point, the internet, I'm not gonna explain it to you. I am Danny, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next one.
But when life would move slower, we would never grow up. All we knew that love was for when we're older. Anything could happen, secretly imagine they could never tear us apart. Too young.